Hold up. Wait a minute.
So over a year ago, I made a video titled "Could the tbate anime work?" and in it I went over possible studios, composers, voice actors, and it was just my way of coping because the thought of it getting an anime was so far-fetched. Fast forward a bit and book 11 releases, we get a new artist for the webcomic and the comic goes on hiatus, then they tease a Crunchyroll panel for October 19. In my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, they're probably just gonna sell us some bobbleheads in the Crunchyroll store or something. So I forget about it and I'm scrolling Twitter, going past some titty shots, and I see a post from Daily Tbate. It's a video. I'm like, oh, what fan edit is this? But then I see movement, I hear a sick soundtrack, I see explosions, and then I see the line, a cold-blooded king is reborn as an infant. I'm like, hold up. Then Alice holding R pops up with Ray next to them, and then I just drop my phone. It's actually really happening. I've probably never felt this excited about an anime adaptation before. Like, if you think about it, the next couple years will be absolutely insane. Omniscient Reader, Lord of the Mysteries, and tbate will be airing.
We will be sad.
Also, what even is this new name? We knew tbate as an isekai type story with novel adaptations, but goddamn, this name is so long. We know it as the beginning after the end. So what the hell is Saikyo no Osama Nidome no Jinsei na what? What is that? I mean, it translates to the strongest king. What would you do with your second life? But like, why change it? Or is this normal industry practice? Okay, let's calm down a bit and let's talk about the trailer and all the information we have about this adaptation. Because when the initial excitement subsides, we now have to worry about a big issue. Will this be good? Will we be happy with a low-tier adaptation just because it got adapted? So I tend to make random manhwa videos here and there, and one of the first ones I made was on A Returnist Magic Should Be Special, part of the regression genre and
Pretty fucking good.
It got adapted a few seasons ago and my god was that shit.
Ass.
No one was hyped enough about it to give the manhwa that big push because the animation was so poor and lackluster. This is what scares me now for tbate even in the midst of my excitement. So the big question now is, who did Turtle Me hand his baby over to? The new tbate anime is going to be directed by Keitaro Motonaga, and he's worked on episodes of shows like Fist of the North Star, Hunter x Hunter, a Persona 3 movie, and some Digimon stuff. And he's worked on a lot more things, but these are just some of the ones I think stand out to me as not bad. I didn't watch Data live or during school days, but I'll keep the mystery. Whether he's good for the job is kinda hard to say because the stuff he's done is not the cream of the crop, so to speak. I do know some people liked his work with the Digimon Adventure Tri movies, but others also hated it. Okay, so the series composer is usually the vital role that's given to the main writer of the series. They work on concepts, major events, and pacing. If you ever watched The Classroom of the Elite anime and hated the pacing, at least now we know who to look for. Takamitsu Kono is the one in charge of series composition. He worked on the manhwa adaptation I mentioned earlier for Returnist Magic Should Be Special and a show called Kingdoms of Ruin. If you never saw that anime by the way, just watch the first two and drop it. It has one of the best setups I've seen and the show's writing quality just kept going downhill. Now as for the story supervisor, it's Turtle Me, so enough said. Now when a novel is getting adapted, the character designers use those designs as building blocks essentially. The characters will then have to be redesigned in a way that animators can draw them, especially from different angles, movement, and whatnot. Basically, current tbate characters are just flat, and the character designer will have to modify them to give them flesh and bones so his co-workers can move them. Masami Sueoka has worked on a lot of 3D animation for Detective Conan, and the new CG Nightmare anime called Strongest Magician in the Demon Lord's Army was a human. Basically, I'm slowly getting scared. Arguably, the one thing that elevates a scene more than even voice acting or visuals for me is usually the music. Based off the trailer, the music will be great, but it just begs the question, did they choose the best song to showcase in the trailer, or are we in for an insane score? Keiji Inai has worked as a composer for stuff like Danmachi, One Piece, Misfit of Demon King, and some others. But I will say, this is very promising. Of course, he's not Penkin or Yuki Kajira, but he's good. Okay. So after I watched the trailer, I immediately saw people crying in the comments because of the studio involved. But let's talk about the production first. Slow Curve has produced a few anime and a lot of them are shit. The best one is the Vending Machine Isekai, so you know that's the bar we're setting. And now, Studio ACAT. I'm gonna be honest, this lineup is not looking too hot. I was looking through their portfolio and it was only when I got to the end that I was like, hold up, this looks good. and it was the tbate visual. Now, tbate is constantly in the same conversation with amazing stories like Lord of the Mysteries and Mushoku Tensei, but look at the adaptations those two are getting. It's looking like this shit now. When I made my video a year ago, I was suggesting studios like Ufotable, Madhouse, Mappa, and Wit. Some other suggestions I received were Kyoto Animation.
So you know, fuck.
A lot of the other stuff can work, but the most promising thing so far is the music. But hey, like I said, it's not looking too good right now, but I'ma ask again. Is a bad adaptation better than none at all? Cause I'll still watch every episode, but if it starts to look like X-Arm halfway through the season, I might just have to take some measures of my own.